How to manage indirect spend. What companies do to minimize their overhead expenses. It is often the indirect spending countryside that is the yellow brick road to a successful procurement career. Indirect spend commodities like maintenance, repairs, and operating supplies are usually assigned to newly hired or newly promoted employees. These purchases were considered low cost and low volume, providing the freshly minded buyer with some projection against errors in sourcing and ordering. By awarding indirect spend to a rookie buyer who would gain their experience of an important commodities, the importance of indirect spending was immediately diminished. With indirect spending in the bag, the buyer is often promoted to direct side of procurement organization, where they typically purchase low-volume inventory items like hardware and labels before gradually moving up to commodity responsibilities. The traditional route out of procurement purgatory was taken. However, the big picture remained unanswered. Direct spending was not driven by the new buyer procurement or low-risk maintenance supplies. Instead, the CIO negotiated large contracts for IT services. Meanwhile, the human resources manager negotiated healthcare contracts. The executive chef negotiated food services contracts. The summer intern signed a new contract for web design, for example. The procurement department was not managing large indirect spend contracts, putting the company at financial and operational risk. Direct and indirect spending is often difficult to distinguish. Direct material is used during the manufacturing process, has a part number and an inventory position, and is ultimately resold to a customer as part of a financial product. Direct goods and services are those that an organization uses but do not become part of finished products. In many companies, indirect spending can exceed direct expenditure. Some material are typically micromanaged, but poorly managed of direct material can be just as damaging. Welcome to a new episode of the Workforce Workshop. Today we will discuss direct spending in detail. The first question we should ask: what is spend management? Managing expenditures is the process of collecting, collating, maintaining, analyzing, and categorizing expenditures in order to minimize procurement costs, improve efficiency, monitor and control workflow, and ensure compliance. Throughout the procurement cycle, spend management affects and manages various activities. In its components are requisitions processing, budgeting, planning, suppliers management, contract management, inventory management, sourcing, and product development. A comprehensive discussion of spend management across departments is relevant to any organization, regardless to its size or type. So, what is the challenge of managing direct expenditure? It is common for indirect spending to be decentralized, with purchasing being performed on a department basis. For example, employees' travel would be managed by human resources. Facilities management should handle building maintenance functions. New technologies would be integrated into operations to support growth. New trade shows would be added to sales and marketing plans. As a result of this arrangement, the procurement cycle becomes fragmented according to its function. An unknown amount of money may be spent, wasted, or duplicated by not utilizing best practices such as consolidated purchasing, dynamic approval workflows, vendor contract management, a competitive bidding. Now you would ask whether to centralize it or not. While the decentralization of portions of the procurement function makes sense from business perspective, centralizing vital functions with procurement is more effective for balancing the procurement cycle. By employing a hybrid approach, we are able to combine elements of both centralized and decentralized procurement, thereby offering the best of both worlds. It is possible, for example, for individual departments or individuals within each department to create requisitions and track their status through the approval process. In contrast, the central procurement department performs strategic sourcing, task vendors, contract negotiations, and other high-value tasks. Finally, let's list the 7 steps to manage the indirect spend. The first step is to plan a strategic sourcing strategy. A company seeking to improve its indirect procurement process must develop a strategic sourcing plan for direct and indirect spending. Start by identifying savings opportunities within your supply chain by looking at the larger picture. Determine where you can cultivate more meaningful and collaborative relationships with your vendors. Perform a detailed analysis of all indirect spending. As a result, an organization can create a plan that combines organizational goals, market research, and indirect supplier performance metric. What are the plans for overcoming your existing indirect spend management and challenges? Alternative approaches to contract management and purchases and invoice processing may be necessary. Additionally, it may involve implementing a preferred supplier program for indirect procurement or creating a new procurement policy for your organization's buyers. Second step is to organize your data despite having a vast amount of data at their fingertips. Procurement professionals struggle to sort this out. In addition to enabling greater supply chain transparency, good data non-management provides additional opportunities to migrate supply chain risks, evaluate supplier performance, encourage innovation and collaboration with suppliers. A cluttered database will prevent you from accomplishing any of these tasks. Organizing your database sooner rather than later will help you determine how to prioritize your time and resources. Getting your data in order is also essential for compatibility with the new technology you will invest in. The third step is to make use of appropriate technology. Consider investing in software tools such as cloud-based procurement solution to make your purchasing process more accurate and efficient. In addition to good data, the automation of process will allow your procurement team to implement your new strategies effectively. Additionally, it provides real-time insight into all indirect expenditure across your organization. Automation can, for instance, aid procurement teams in monitoring, limiting, and reducing excess purchasing from across an organization's buyers. Furthermore, the best e-procurement solutions are able to analyze and classify all transactions. According to a 2019 KPMG study, approximately 45% of businesses feel established using technology and automation in procurement. Within an organization, you can achieve mastery, autonomy, and purpose. However, you have to spend money inside the company, specifically indirect expenditure. Unfortunately, this is the reality. However, if you can use appropriate technology that provides the end user with autonomy, they can make their own decisions. It is an ad hoc process where you're just putting in many policies inside your organization. This hinders the company's ability to make decisions quickly and efficiently. The fourth step is to enhance transparency and visibility. Historically, indirect spending has been fragmented throughout the organization and outside procurement control. A similar principle often applies to large contracts involving company catering, staff travel, or IT services. Procurement must gain total visibility into organizations' expenditures. This is accomplished by classifying indirect spending by categories and by suppliers. By identifying the critical preferred suppliers, you will improve supply chain efficiency, enabling more favorable suppliers' contract terms, such as volume discounts. The fifth step is to change the company culture. The key challenge with indirect spend management in procurement is that a large portion of indirect spending is done by non-procurement personnel. Without clear communication of procurement policies, compliance will be low. Organizations will incur higher costs due to a maverick spending. Follow procurement procedures throughout the entire organization. Monitor and measure contract compliance with key performance metrics. The importance of indirect spending must be recognized by procurement professionals themselves as well. Direct spending is often overseen by procurement professionals at the most junior levels. This diminishes the importance of sophistication of managing direct expenditure. Procurement teams can only hope to optimize their processes by involving senior management in indirect spending. The sixth step is to take charge. You need to have a comprehensive strategic sourcing process in place to purchase your most crucial consumer products components in your direct spend. Furthermore, it involves in-depth contract negotiation, regular buyer-supplier communication, and ongoing monitoring of supplier performance. By carefully monitoring indirect spending, your organization can ensure that its money is used responsibly, ethically, and sustainably. Identify and control all contracts throughout the organization, which means analyzing, amending, and consolidating as necessary. Getting real-time information about indirect spending by removing policies and implementing a system will enable end users to accomplish their goals quickly. While the organization is being managed, the aggregate is being operated simultaneously. This is the best of both worlds. The last step is to develop rapport and trust with business stakeholders without support from your organizational stakeholders. Procurement professionals may be able to accomplish the above, but you will have a hard time getting new policies and procedures to stick. In addition to ensuring value creation that is important to stakeholders, building a great partnership with them will help them better manage indirect spending. The key aspect of business success is business trust and the rapport with stakeholders. In ensuring that the business units follow sourcing strategies will have a significant role to play. To accomplish this, I would like to make the sourcing strategy a collaborative one with my internal business partners. The best way to get by to make them feel as they own the project. Conclusion. Whenever spending starts to grow exponentially in an organization budget, management becomes increasingly important. Companies are not concerned with the late payment percentage point discounts or even vendor performance in the interim. Spend management is becoming increasingly crucial as expenses grow. Do you consider optimizing your spending process if you are in a challenging spend management situation? We assure you that you can control your spending before it becomes out of control by following the steps discussed. That's all for today's episode. Links to everything will be in the description below. If you like our content, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button. It will notify you about the new content that we will share with you every week. This will help us produce great content for our professional audience. Let us know if there's something you would like us to discuss in future episodes. Please click the link in the show notes and you can submit your questions directly to me. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.